of Nigeria.
Okay.
It is transformed from council to commission now.
Okay.
And we are determined to promote businesses and protect consumer interests across board.
Okay.
Furthermore, competition is added to our mandate, which makes it more and more beautiful and task-free. Unlike before, where we are only on the side of the consumer protection alone. Now, we also regulate competition.
Okay.
In reality, the aviation industries have heavy burdens to ensure that their clients are properly treated. Because without consumers, I don't think any business can thrive in Nigeria. The enormity and investment in aviation industry actually call for serious protection of consumer interests if actually they want their organization or business to thrive. Therefore, all consumer rights embedded in their business must be adhered to in line with global best practices. What is obtainable across the world must also be obtained in Nigeria. And they know because NCAA, Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, that oversee them, have made it clear to them that when you are in business, you must also protect your client. So if there are violations in terms of cancel of flight, delay in flight, without proper informing the consumers, there's a burden on them. And the burden is enormous. Therefore, they must have to play as a key player in the industry to ensure that all the rights of consumers are strictly observed and followed. Where a consumer pays for his ticket and books, if there are issues thereon, a consumer must be informed ahead. If it is immediately, they must tell the consumers why the cancellation of the flight is obtained or why there is delay in flight is gotten or where there is outside cancellation of their trips and those consumers are not domiciled in that area. Therefore, their rights must be protected. If including securing accommodation for them, feeding them where necessary. For that period, they are delayed. If all these things are not done, then there is a big infraction against consumers, and the consequence is great on them. Most of them know this, that they are hiding under the ignorance of the consumers to change them and violate their rights. I want to urge the consumers, where such things are occurred, the commission is there for them to ensure that everything against them will be followed to later. And not only that, even the NCAA too have consumer protection unit in their own organization, which they don't also take it light. So NCCPC and NCAA have an effective and collaborative strategy to ensure that the rights of consumers are properly protected and even fought for where it is become necessary.
Alhaji, let me come in here. It's interesting. I picked the first thing that you said, that global best practices, and you also emphasized that whatever is obtainable in other countries must be done in Nigeria. But let me refer you to something that happened in 2022, where the federal government and of course these flight operators had an issue. Apparently, these domestic airlines under the aegis of airline operators of Nigeria disagreed on the issue of flight delays. They're saying that the major causes for the flight delays in Nigeria is because of the infrastructure, the bad infrastructure. Sometimes the runways are not properly lit, so they can't have continuous, flights round the clock. For example, you fly to Uganda at 2 a.m. in the morning. You can't land in Uganda because there are lights on the runway. I've heard that certain airports in this country shut down at a certain time because there are no lights on the runway, and so they can't fly at a certain time. Do you understand? But then then of course the NCAA, the FAN are saying, well, that's not true. There are airports in this country that work, and the airline operators need to get their acts together. So it's more like it's your fault, finger pointing, as opposed to doing the right thing. Now, if these two people are not seen to be doing the right thing, where does the consumer protection come in?
The airline and the regulator?
Yes.
Well, as far as I think so far so good, in the recent past, federal government has actually came up to invest in airports across Nigeria. If what they are saying before then was a bit difficult, but I think in the recent past we've seen a lot of infrastructure going around.
Alhaji, this is 2022. It's not 2016. It's just last year.
That was last year.
Yes.
Haven't we moved from that to now? We have moved away from that. So NCC is the regulator, and the authority there are doing their best to ensure that we have the airports in Nigeria are satisfied, and they are one of the best in the world. We know there are challenges here and there. If challenges are being managed and they are being put in place, the airlines know this, that most of those challenges before now have been actually, we passed that level now. So they should also sit up and make sure that all those things they are required in their licensing for them to actually have a decent and easy-free flight idea. So they also have to sit up and ensure that their own sections in their businesses meet up with the best practices for consumers to enjoy the service they are paying for.
Okay. Okay. Let me give you a person's experience. A guy named Bode Oyegoke closed from work on a Friday, and he was headed straight to the airport to catch a 7 p.m. flight. I will not call the name of the airline from Kano to Lagos because his old friend was getting married. I'm giving you a reporter's speech the following day. Now, Oyegoke had to be at that wedding because it's his good friend's wedding. Now, Kano to Lagos is a distance of about 1 hour, 35 minutes by air travel. And Oyegoke had everything planned, but his plan to arrive in Lagos in good time and get rest before going to the wedding was disrupted as his airline did not take off until midnight. Now, the major problem for Oyegoke was that he got to Kano all right, but he overslept, and by the time he woke up, the wedding had started. Now, that's one person. I did also tell you about people who have to fly out of the country, and maybe they're flying from Port Harcourt, to Lagos to catch a flight to Dubai or something. And then the flight doesn't land, or the flight doesn't even leave. And then that international flight leaves them while they're still in Port Harcourt waiting for whatever airline to land. And that means that if you miss an international flight, you're going to pay, for a rescheduling. I think the rescheduling amount will be in dollars or whatever. How do you seek redress in that regard? Because maybe you didn't even plan for all of that. And where do you get an extra, let's say, $1,000, which is a whole lot of money right now?
You will hold the local airline liable because the first stop from the consumer. And if the local airline that's supposed to have done this will actually meet up for the international flight and it was not lost that chance, the burden now lies on the local airline without any reasonable reason to convince the consumers that there are some issues that is beyond human control. If those issues beyond human control are there, and the airline was not actually willing or was behind time to inform such a consumer, I think the airline is liable.
So
for all what it takes.
Yeah, but how do we get redress? Before we talk about getting redress, now there have been several reports over and over again of the norm of these flight cancellations or delays. In fact, we see the videos that come from airports where people are protesting at different airline counters. It's now becoming irregular. And at the end of the day, half the time, somebody actually hits somebody or it becomes an altercation of sorts because people are frustrated. Let's talk about how to seek redress, because it's one thing to know what your rights are and of course, go about making sure that those rights are preserved. So what does the average consumer need to do in this regard?
An average consumer in all goods and services have rights. They have right to information. They have right to choice. They have right to redress. They have the right to health and safety, and lots of others. In this aspect of goods and services, especially services now, standing right to information, standing right to choice, standing right to redress. If you have noticed that there is an infraction, what you will do is, one, the NCAA is there. They have a vibrant conservation unit there because we work hand in hand with them. If you are not aware of it and you are aware of FCCPC, just what you do is just write a complaint how unfair you are treated. Attach the receipt of payment for that service you couldn't obtain. Send it to the FCCPC. Then sometimes the FCCPC take it up and ensure we study it and analyze it. Then we write the airline, let them explain why there was a violation, consumer rights violation. It's from there we take it up between the consumer and the airline. Let us be mindful that actually globally now there are big challenges in the economy. Nobody is doubting that. There is probably a yardstick to abuse consumer rights. So if an airline or airlines have challenges which they felt it should be timely escalated to their clients, let them know that challenges they are having, we are on top of it, or we are on control of it. But if such things are not in existence, I think it is absolute impression against consumers, and consumers have the right to seek for redress.
Okay. I will come back to you telling us how to, because you talked about writing to the NCPC. But let me give you some statistics, some very damning statistics. Now, apparently, the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority keeps record of daily delayed flights. There's a copy of that NCAA's record of the delayed flights for the first quarter of 2021. Now, the document is titled Executive Summary on International and Domestic Flight Operations, January to March 2022. Now, immediately, that document shows that delayed flights have reached an epidemic level in the country, and the ugly trend cuts across all our local airlines. According to that record, out of a total of 23,619 local flights in the first quarter of 2022, delays were experienced in 14,121 instances. That's about 59.7% cases of delay. This is very alarming. This is something that should get the attention of not just the NCPC, but of course the regulators themselves. But then we do not see that action, except for the fact that people are maybe once in a while going to court or making sure that these airlines, hold their end of the bargain up. But saying again that we need to come to the NCPC, right to you, what is the process and what is the time frame? Because I told some of my listeners earlier today that somebody took a flight, I think, to Port Harcourt, or, was supposed to take a flight to Port Harcourt, and that flight was cancelled for no reason. Until today, the person is yet to get the money back, a refund of the money. Also, help us understand the logic of, I pay 100% for my ticket, and then when I want a refund, you're giving me 60%. Even at that, it takes forever to get that 60% back.
It depends on the situation. Actually, I don't think there will be any business organization that will be willing to lose its clients or its customers, aside the zero cities that is affecting them. They're notwithstanding, an airline has an obligation to inform consumers if there are serious issues that will affect their trips, cancellation or delay in their flight. If such is not done and the consumer has paid for his ticket, he couldn't actually enjoy his service. What he should do is, one, write to the airline, express your anger, your feeling in writing, attach all your necessary documents, that's the receipt for booking, to the airline, and request for refund of your money. I know it's not easy. It's not easy for a business to get your money. They don't have it. They don't have a choice. But if such thing was not attended to, SCBC now can now be escalated to CPC, because you have to go back to the airline first If you are not satisfied with what they are giving you or they are not attending to you, then you can now write both NCA, if you so wish, or you write direct to the SCPC. From the SCPC now, we write them for them to investigate and reply to the commission why there is such a violation of consumer rights. So it's from there we now take it up between the complainant and the airline. I think we've been doing that. Even in Port Harcourt, I've treated so many things like that. At the end of the day, it is not the fault of the consumer. I think they are liable and they will do the necessary things to ensure that the consumer gets justice.
Do you, Alhaji, do you think that maybe this process in itself, and I'm not in any way, making it's just a query, it's not an opinion.
Yes.
Do you think that maybe the system in itself is weak, is not as, or the turnaround process is very, very long and windy, hence why people don't go down that road? Could that be one of the reasons why many people are not going into litigation or dragging these airlines to court? Could it be that the process is long and windy, or the fact that maybe it doesn't yield anything?
Going to court or going to the commission?
Whether it's going through the commission or actually taking the issues up with the airlines. Maybe I'm asking the reason why we have less and less people seeking for redress. Could it be that because the process in itself does not yield anything fruitful?
Not really, madam. Not really. It's bound back to awareness creation. So people don't know that they have the right under the law to fight for their own and seek redress for their violation of their rights. So it banks on awareness, not maybe nonchalant attitude or maybe they lost confidence or the weakness in the system. It is basically public enlightenment. Those that have the opportunity to know where to go and seek redress, I think they'll be getting their redress. So because I said going to court is one of the last options a consumer can decide to go. He is so wish. But I think hence there are institutions of government established to look into this matter and solve their own problems.
Okay.
Why would I advise them that they should also go to those institutions within set by government first to explore all necessary avenues for them to get their redress before proceeding to court?
All right, Alhaji Garba, just stay with us on the line. We'll take a quick break. When we return, questions, comments will follow. It's still the nation's #1 talk news and sports station. Stay with us.
You are listening to your #1 station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Oh no, my line has been barred.
Not to worry. Link your NIN and unbar your 9 mobile line with ease. Dial *996# and select option 2, or visit 9mobile.com.ng/NIN. You also get up to 20K for calls and up to 20 gig data when you link your line. If you are yet to enroll your NIN, please visit any 9 Mobile Experience Center now. Remember, dial *996#, select option 2, or visit 9mobile.com.ng/NIN now.
9 Mobile.
NS to
Oga, wetin happen? I don send a go market. I be dey owe you money.
Oga Pharmacy, no be your boy I dey call jare. I dey ask for NS liver salt, ogbonge medicine wey dey comot any yamayama discomfort for person belle, whether na heartburn, constipation or even indigestion. NS liver salt get lemon, orange and other correct flavors. With NS liver salt, belle go dey balance. Oya Oga Pharmacy, sama me one make I go enjoy.
NS Liver Salt, the ogbonge medicine where they make your belle kulele. Russian Tiny Pharmacy, go buy your own now.
Sincerely, I don't want to wait till I graduate from this school before I think of what to do with my life.
Exactly. I am going to seriously work on my music skills. Let me use my talent well, I beg.
I would like to be a radio presenter, but I don't know how to go about it.
But why is Simi so quiet today?
Sorry, ladies. I'm taking this interesting course on how to become a professional scriptwriter. You too can also learn how to become a radio presenter on Wazobia Academy.
Wazobia Academy?
Yes, Wazobia Academy provides accessible and affordable online training in filmmaking, music business, fashion, radio hosting, and lots more. You also stand a chance to be selected for internship in leading production companies, radio stations, music, and fashion studios for hands-on experience. It's easy. Simply log on to .5038 for more details.
Wazobia Academy.
You're listening to your #1 station for talk.
Your #1 station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
right, still the sunny side, 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are talking about consumer protection and, of course, airline, people who use airlines. Of course, we're looking at how we can reduce the incessant flight cancellations within the country, rescheduling, cancelling, and sometimes out of the blue, you show up to the airport and they say, oh, well, that flight has been cancelled. Or, one of the most recent is that, the flight was moved backwards. I thought you got an email. Oh, the flight has already left. How? But I've been asking questions to our guest. He is, of course, the South director for Zonal director. I beg your pardon, for the Consumer Protection Council. Now it's called NCPC. Yes, and it's not just consumer protection. Now they're looking at, of course, competition between businesses, but that's not what we're looking or focusing on this afternoon. We're looking at consumer protection. You're right. As someone who flies around this country locally, what are our rights and how do we make sure that those rights count? And of course, talking about consumer service or prioritizing your customer as an airline operator. Now, there's been a back and forth between the federal government and these flight operators as to who's wrong or who's most responsible for these cancellations. But while we have our guest here, we'd like to open up the phone line so that you can be part of the conversation, ask all your questions if you have concerns. Like I said earlier on, I asked a very important question. Have you been stuck at an airport before? Have you been trapped at an airport because your flight was delayed or because your flight was cancelled or rescheduled or taken a few hours behind without your knowledge? Well, you were told that you were sent an email or a text message, but you didn't see it, or that you were called, but you didn't see the call. What did you do? Especially if, you have all the money you had, was to take you home. No extra to head to a hotel or back to where you came from. And so how do you deal? How did you cope? Well, the phone lines are open. Let's talk 0700 993 993 993 0700 993 993 993. Our guest is from the NCPC, Alhaji Garba Ahmed, and he's going to be taking all your questions this afternoon. Let's talk about it. If you have been stuck at an airport, your flight was cancelled without your knowledge, or the airlines are still owing you money from a ticket that you have said, okay, since you cancelled the flight, give me back my money. They say, oh, well, we can only give you back 60%. No problem. Give me back the 60%. If you haven't been able to get that money, well, this is the show for you, because Alhaji Garba Ahmed is here with all the answers that you need. 0700 993 993 993. That's 0700 993 993 993. If you're a lady, call 01-465-7190. That's ladies only, 01-465-7190. Or better still, you could join the conversation on our WhatsApp. That's 0809-5975-805. Or on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM. We're also live on YouTube. You can join the conversation. Hello. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes.
Yes, my name is Olori. I'm calling from Ikeja.
All right, Olori, go ahead.
Now, a year ago, I bought a ticket from Green Hair Travels airline to go to Akure.
Okay.
A day to my flight, they canceled the flight. And up to today, I have not been able to receive my refund back. Even the 60%, I never got it back. And we keep going to their office, and they keep telling us stories. So I don't know what is going on. I've tried to get them on website, on Instagram, on Twitter, to tweet at them. They don't even have any link to contact them.
Wow.
Can Alhaji please help us? Tell Green Air to refund my money. This last is going to be a year that they canceled the flight. I didn't say I was not going to travel anymore. So why are they not refunding my money?
Very, very interesting question. Thank you very much for calling. We appreciate it. Alhaji, I'm sure you heard her question.
No.
Well, she's saying that Green Air, that she bought an air ticket and the flight was cancelled. I think she said almost a year now. And she's not been able to find an email address. She's checked on all the social media. She's unable to reach them so she can get her money back. And so she's saying she needs your help to be able to do that.
Yeah, is she in Lagos?
Yes, I'm sure she's in Lagos.
We have our state office in Lagos at Ikeja. And once you browse our web, you will see all our details.
What is the website?
Our email address. Either in Lagos or she escalate right off to Abuja office.
What is your website? Your office website?
Our email address.
You can give us an email and then let us know what the website is.
Contact at FCCPC.
NCPC. Contact.
No, FCC. Contact at FCCPC.
Okay.
Contact.
Okay.
At fccpc.gov.ng.
Okay. All right.
That is central email.
All right.
For Lagos office, Lagos at fccpc.gov.ng.
Okay.
Lagos at fccpc.gov.ng.
Okay. All right.
So let her write a complaint, attach all relevant documents to it, then send it to SCPC for further action.
All right. Great. All right. Well, we're still taking your thoughts. We're still taking your comments. Feel free to ask all your questions. If you have had your flight delayed, rescheduled, cancelled on you, I'm thinking what the worst could be. The worst scenario is missing an international flight, a connecting flight, because your other local flight did not show up or it was a no-show. And having to pay for, extra to be able to still fly out because of how important that flight, that international flight is. But how do you get redress? Our guest is here to answer all your questions. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What's your name? Where are you calling from, please?
This is Madam Gloria. I'm calling from Lagos here.
All right, go ahead, please.
Okay, please. In 2016, we bought tickets, Arik Air to New York. It was an international flight. We were supposed to come back in February. That was in November 2016. We were supposed to come back in February 2017.
Uh-huh.
Do you know we got to the airport? We didn't meet Arik Air.
Oh, dear.
Nobody was there to answer us. My husband and I. We were stranded. And we came out of state from another state to New York. You know, we had to call the children from wherever they were to get a ticket for us. I tried to call the agent here in Nigeria. Nobody was picking up. Called Arik Air. Nobody was picking up. So we had to book a flight. The kids had to book a flight for us to leave New York that day to Nigeria. We booked Delta to come back.
Wow.
And when we came back to Nigeria, we've been going to Arik Air. We've written. We've gone to them. They said, go to the agent. They keep on tossing us at the stage. In fact, we got tired.
2016 till 2023, you have not been able to get anything. You didn't write.
Nothing.
Did you write to them? Did you send an email? Did you go to Arik offices themselves? Did you go?
Yes. Went to Arik office. Went there, reported the matter, and then so we went to Arik Air. We informed them. The people were supposed to. In fact, they kept tossing us. They said, "Go to the agent. Who is the agent that booked your flight? We don't know anything about you. This and that." We showed them
I'm so sorry, madam. I'm so sorry to talk over you, but I'm mostly curious as to what did they say happened to that flight? Did it fly at all, or did it leave earlier than scheduled? Did you try to get the information?
They didn't fly at all. We learned they folded up. We learned they folded up. They didn't fly at all. We were stranded in the U.S. We were stranded in New York.
Wow. Okay.
We were stranded.
Okay, I'm going to let Alhaji speak on this particular matter. Alhaji, I'm sure you heard what the lady said.
Yes. She was to fly to Nigeria from U.S.
Via Arik Air.
They pay all the necessary dues.
Yes.
And they are giving receipt.
Yes, of course.
So at the point of boarding their flight to Nigeria, the airline was nowhere to be found?
Yes, at all. It wasn't. So they had to use they flew Delta back to
How did they purchase their air ticket?
I'm sure. We lost that call. She would have called back to tell us.
So how did they?
But from what she said, that they kept saying they should go back to the agent who booked the flight for them, and that they kept being tossed back and forth.
There's a case at hand that I'm handling now in Port Harcourt. Are you with me?
Yes, I'm listening.
Some of their agents, some of their staff will pretend as if they pay into me that I give my organization, my airline. and some of the staff will collect the money and they will remit to the airline. And you'll be thinking that maybe you are paid a flight ticket, you are paid for your fare for you to board the airline. When you reach there, you won't able to get your money. So at times, they have to investigate and find out in real time if actually that one they pay enter the cost of the Arik airline.
But I'm also guessing, Alhaji, that when you pay for an air ticket, something is issued. I'm sure there was a portal for which people were able to, one way or the other, pick their seats, check in online. There had to be something. Could that have also been, falsified, falsified just for these people? Because they were coming from New York. They were not in Nigeria that you say that, okay, they didn't do anything, but they must have.
Yes.
They must have checked in for boarding one way or the other online. So I'm trying to make sense of what you're saying right now. It might be a possibility, but how realistic is that? And this was 2016. It's not in 2023 where we have deep fakes.
Yes. So they have to be very careful. They have to be very careful when you are boarding, when you are booking airline. You must be very careful and make sure that it is not a third party. If it's a third party, it's a third party commissioned by the airline on their behalf. These days, people are funny. So at times, it may not be the fault of the airline. I'm not holding brief for that. But make sure that ticket you have, if it's in existence, though then things are so bad compared to little influence we have gotten now. But if actually up to that, they've not gotten their money back, and they have all the details. Let them still ride the Arik airline in Nigeria. Let Arik airline authenticate the receipt they got. If they are not yielding, then you escalate the matter to the commission.
Okay.
You can still look into it and know what to do on it.
Okay. I think that they need to come to the commission because from what she said, they've gone to to Arik offices, and Arik has said, we don't know you, we have no information on you. So again, it's something that they need to come to your office for. Maybe then it can be escalated. All right, let's take another call. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Chuka. I'm calling from Victoria Island.
Go ahead, Chuka.
Yep. Okay, I had an incident with Airpeace in December, 23rd December. With my family, we are traveling from Lagos to Enugu. So I can't explain what happened, but I kind of believe that the flight was overbooked. So they couldn't board us, not just us, we are like 30.
Wow.
So I continued the process. I told them this is what has happened. I had to go get Dana Air flight ticket to travel. So I've been following that process since then. I've written to Airpeace. They just told me that we came late. That's what they said, that we came late. I don't know how they got that information. But it wasn't just me.
But sir, did you come late?
No. I didn't come late. So what I did, I also wrote to this competition council. I wrote to them, and unfortunately they have not done anything, and that's why I'm actually calling. I really need to know how they want to support this, because I've written to Airpeace, I've also written to the competition council, and they have not responded to me.
By the way, they're a commission now, but Alhaji, I'll let the South director respond to this. Alhaji, he's saying, he's on the line, he's saying that he's written to you, but you are yet to respond or do anything. So he's on the line.
He wrote to the commission?
Yep.
Which of the zonal offices or headquarters Abuja?
I wrote to the Lagos office. You mentioned the email address, Lagos at CP something. That's the email I wrote.
You written a reminder to them.
Yes.
Please, we have volumes of complaints. It's not deliberate, not to have maybe taking up your matter. What I will suggest is, please, you submit your letter, please. Then take it up.
Okay, I should submit again.
Yes, and meanwhile, submit so that they can confirm and know the status of your case.
Okay, all right.
Definitely, your case will be treated. That is sure, if they have merit. So, resubmit the letter, and you resubmit letter, and I think you are making reference to your previous letter, and this is another copy for them to work on. Then you can copy the headquarters
Okay.
With your new letter.
Right.
I haven't sent one initially and you know that this still was still active attention and you know actually schedule of your case. Then you are also reminding and you submit another fresh one for you then for the commission to act on. I believe it will receive utmost attention.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. Let's take another call. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Mary-Ann, I'm the one calling back, Madam Gloria.
Yes. You have a few questions to answer from the coordinator.
Yes, it's like Alhaji did not follow my case. See, it wasn't a matter of fraud. Our names were in the system. We traveled from Nigeria to New York.
Mm-hmm.
From New York to outside of state. So when we were now coming back was when we got to the counter there, we did not see Arik Air.
So wait, you flew Arik to America. That's what you're telling us.
Yes,
so it was a return ticket. Aha. Now we're talking. Okay.
Yes, we flew Arik from Nigeria to America.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
So it was on our way coming back from the date we were supposed to come. Even before we came back, we were checking online. We still saw our ticket. We still saw our seats, everything. But getting to the airport, we never saw Arik Air anymore. And nobody could give us any information. So we tried calling them here in Nigeria. We couldn't get them. We tried calling the agent. The agent was not going through, network services. So we had to struggle to find a way to get a ticket that same day to travel that evening because we had no option. So that is it.
Okay. So when you reach Nigeria, now what happened? When you reach Nigeria with your ticket, the ticket or that you didn't use, what happened to it? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, he's asking, what happened to your ticket?
Did he take any action against Arik Airline to recover our money?
To Nigeria, we got to Arik office. We saw a lot of people that were affected. We also queued up. We filled our forms. They saw our ticket. Our ticket is on their system. But they were not asking us, did we buy in their office or we bought through an agent? And that people that bought through agents should go to the agent. The agent referred us back to them that all the monies are with Arik. So they keep tossing us. You go today, they say, please, we are busy. Come next week. Okay, go to Elo Travel and all that.
Send your complaint to the regulator. Then the regulator will now see how to invite the Arik Airline and their agent to really find out what has actually happened with your money. You have the power to bring both the agent, you have the power to bring the airline to the commission, and let's investigate and see what really went wrong and where your money is. Why was your money lost? From there now, from the investigation now, it will reveal itself. Okay. So I will advise that if you are still interested in pursuing the matter, you can escalate to the commission. The commission will know what to do about it.
Please, what address?
Well, okay, madam, you're going to have to listen to the show. The Alhaji would give out the information again so that we can all get it and write it down. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for calling. We'll take a few more calls before we wrap this up. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon. Welcome to the sunny side.
Yeah, good afternoon.
What's your name, sir?
Please,
Where are you
my
calling
case
from?
relates to I'm doing insurance company. I'm a policy with an insurance company, High.
We're talking about airlines today, not just random. Okay.
But I flagged my case with FCCTC.
Yeah, so you can go to their office and continue this conversation, but today is for airline operators and for those of us who fly airlines. If you have a case that you have already submitted with the commission, please go to the office for a follow-up. Or
let me go to NICO.
Okay, so you heard him, NICO.
Yeah, the one that is regulates insurance companies.
Yeah.
So we take it up seriously.
All right. Okay, well, we have about 5 more minutes on the clock. We're going to take 2 more calls and read some messages. And then, of course, we will wrap this up. Still with us on air is Alhaji Garba Ahmed. He is the South Zonal Director for the Consumer Protection Commission. Now, they've changed the name, and I can't get it off the top of my head, but I'm going to try to get...
competition.
Yes,
competition.
I'm going to have to get used to saying it, but I'm used to saying the CPC, but I'm going to unlearn and relearn this one.
Well, I will charge you for that, and then you apologize. You're thinking about what?
Okay, well, we have a message here on Facebook. Adedayo Ogundimu says, are you talking about passengers or consumers? Passengers are consumers of goods and services, just so you know. Yes. Now, he says those who are profiteering from ignorance of Nigerians and shouting the rights of people with the wrong terminologies. Adedayo, apparently, I don't think you've been listening to this conversation properly, okay? As you consume goods and you also consume services, whether you like it or not. So we're talking about services today. But thank you very much for your thought. Back to the phone lines. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Obatubi Onubanjo.
All right.
Yeah, during the COVID, I bought a Ethiopia Airlines to UK.
Okay.
So when the COVID started, we were unable to, get a flight back to Nigeria. I just want to ask Alhaji, the return ticket that we bought, can Ethiopia Airlines, refund us back? Because we have to buy another, airline when they were unable to fly back to Nigeria.
Did you write to Ethiopian Air? Did you make consultations? Because I know that they have airline offices here in Nigeria.
Yeah. They're supposed to bring us back to Nigeria. That's what I'm saying. But unfortunately, they are telling us that, there's no flight. The Nigerian Air have blocked the airspace. All these, throughout for 3 good months. They were unable to come back to Nigeria.
So, but did you try to get a refund?
Pardon?
Did you try to get a refund?
No refund. That's what I'm saying. So I want to ask Alhaji now if we can apply for our refund and they can give us back.
So you mean applying through the FCPC?
Yes.
Okay, Alhaji, over to you.
Madam? I didn't actually hear his question. Please, can you put it through?
So he was supposed to fly back with Ethiopia Airlines, and the flight, according to them, they couldn't fly back to Nigeria because the airspace was blocked for that particular airline, according to them, for 3 months. So they had to buy another flight ticket to come back to Nigeria, and he's asking, how does he get his money back?
Is it an international airline or
no? It is an
international.
It's an international airline.
International airline.
Yeah.
What effort did you make? They couldn't actually listen to you. Hello,
Mr. Toby.
Hello.
What efforts did you make?
Yeah, I wrote them, but there's no response from them. I wrote the Ethiopia Airline, but there's no response.
That Ethiopia Airlines should have office in Nigeria. Yes.
That's the question I asked.
Ethiopia Airlines should have office in Nigeria. You don't have to write. You don't have to write them directly in Ethiopia, right? Locate the office in Nigeria for Ethiopia Airlines and write there. Let's see their response. If it's not forthcoming, then you escalate to the commission.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Toby.
That's the right way to go.
Thank you very much, Toby, for calling. At this point, I wanted to read just one message, Alhaji, because we're out of time, and I want to say a quick thank you to you. But before I take that message, Alhaji, quickly give us the website or the email address that we can write to and where your offices are here in Lagos.
Yes. For Lagos office, Lagos at fccpc.gov.ng.
Lagos
at fccpc.gov.ng.
So I'll take it slowly. Lagos at FCCPC.
Yes.
26 FCC. Yeah, just hold on, Alhaji. Lagos at FCCPC. Hold on, just hold on. Lagos at FCCPC.gov.ng.
Yes.
All right. So Lagos at fccpc.gov.ng. That's for the Lagos office. And
for the central email in Abuja, contact at FCCPC. Contact
at
fccpc.gov.ng.
All right. Well, Alhaji, we're out of time. I want to say thank you. Alhaji Ahmed Garba is the South Zonal director for the FCCPC, that's the Consumer Protection. It's now, of course, bigger than what it used to be. Yes, it used to be a Consumer Protection Council, but now it's a commission. Thank you so much, Alhaji, for speaking with us. We do appreciate it.
With pleasure. I'm very delighted to have this opportunity.
All right, thank you very much.
I wouldn't mind coming again if the need arises.
All right, thank you very much. And that's the show, Lagos. We have to go for a break, and on the other side, we'll be talking more on the sunny side.
Right after this.
Oh no, my line has been barred.
Not to worry. Link your NIN and unbar your 9 mobile line with ease. Dial *996# and select